Morning, people. Firstly, thank you very much for all your input yesterday and suggestions. I have tried it all. Stuffed Kongs with frozen food. No, Zed is very single-minded about that leg, and I will be ringing up the vet this morning and having a little chat about it. I mean, if ever she has another operation, they're going to have to put a line in somewhere else. Okay, it's that simple. Because, I'm going to say it, I think it's attention seeking. Again, there's a lot of attention seeking going on with Zed at the moment, and that is something I will deal with. I appreciated all your comments and links. Back training, I learnt about when I was, about 9 or 10 years old. We called it back then behavioural modification training. Okay, names get changed over the decades, and I had two very exceptional trainers. During the time that I was training, from 6 years old, I had a police dog handler by the name of Wally Baker, who actually used to live 3-4 doors up from me, and I moved in just after he died down here. And a fantastic trainer called Jerry Hoare, and that's spelled Hoare, and he has got championship obedience cups named after his dogs Koenig and Panda. Panda was a collie, black and white pointed-eared collie, and I think from Panda, as a little girl I used to go up to Jerry and say, can I go sit with your dogs? He totally ignored me because they were focused on their dad, who they adored. And then there was Sue, a purely an obedience trainer, and all these things were drummed into me. They saw a lot of potential in me as a kid, and I expect I got a lot more one-on-one than everybody else did, frankly. And I owe all my experience, other than what I've gained over the years, to those people, all now that are past, and that is sad. But anyway, as I said, thanks everybody for suggestions and a little bit of support, which I kind of needed. I'm not bothered about being thumb stand. Everybody's got an entitlement, but Zed is Zed, and I just wanted everybody to explain. Now, I want to talk a bit about Zed's food because it's something that I haven't discussed. Now, here, this is going to really annoy her, is a chicken carcass. Okay, I've got a little thing underneath because it's straight out the freezer, and this is what she'll have tonight after it's defrosted. Now, these are human grade, and it's what's left in the catering industry after they've removed the legs. That's a bit of a wind up, innit? She goes, you ain't kidding, Mum. After they've removed the legs, breasts, wings, etc. This one, after it's defrosted, will probably weigh around about 160, and she has 200 grams per meal and another 100 grams of food as rewards. I do not use treats. Okay, so that's what she said. I'm just going to pop this in the fridge. Hold on. This is a wind up for you. Yes, I know, darling, but you'll have some in a minute. Now, this is how I buy her food. Okay, it comes in this is a 700 gram tub. I've got to be careful because of drippage. And this is free range chicken and haddock, and it's 700 grams. Oh, and that's your don't feed to ruminant animals label. And it comes in this tub, totally frozen. It's all ground up with the chicken bones and cartilages, and then the fish, and it's all blended in together. I tend to use the ground up, and mostly she has at least one meal a day of ground up, and she has chicken carcasses, rabbit carcasses when I can get them, which is a problem because yes, I've got to put this back in the fridge. 2 secs. Yes, Deadly, I know it's frustrating. Move. Deadly, I can't get it back on. So that is her food. She has a variety of different meats. I do like, obviously when you start a pup on food, that method of the really ground up stuff, it's pre-ground for you. And it's like just the ground chicken from Nurturing by Nature is like, for 700 grams, is £1.19, and that's it's literally one of those carcasses put through a grinder. It's exactly the same. I seem to have got water on my computer, which is already having a few problems. Hold on, people, let's just dry that off. Yes, obviously if you're defrosting at the top of your fridge, like I have to, because I have a very strange fridge, put it on a plate, because sometimes those can have cracks in and you don't want blood dripping onto your veg or whatever. Okay, that's common sense there. I just haven't done a video on her food, so I thought I'd mention it. So she's got a chicken carcass tonight. This morning she had chicken and venison offal, which she does well with. I've got to slowly, very slow. I mean, she's fine with rabbit liver, and that's the only liver that she seems to be fine with. So I've bought some chicken and chicken liver, and the ratio is about 80% to 20% liver. And I've got a big metal knife and a rubber based hammer, sort of thing, mallet thing, and I just hack a corner off and defrost that, and I will mix that in so that I dilute that sort of 18-20% down even more. Obviously raw eggs with their shells, I prefer to crush the shells, not give them, I crush them down, because there's plenty of calcium in there. And it is very important with raw feeding, to keep their calcium and phosphorus levels balanced, and without bone you will screw it up and your dog will get diarrhea. But the best person for raw feeding that I know of is Chad from the 508th Airborne Division, who's got amazing, Lycan Shepherds, German Shepherds, Blue Bay Shepherds, Renaissance Bulldogs. Wonderful channel. He goes on these great hikes, he's an animal warden, has been feeding raw for over 2 decades, and obviously you need to go to source, which is Dr. Ian Billinghurst, which I've actually emailed directly with when I was having problems with Zed, and read his books, Give a Dog a Bone, Grow Your Pups with Bone. So do your own research on this, please. I am not a proficient, I'm not an expert on raw feeding. I just do what I have researched, and I took Zed up to the Nurturing by Nature, spoke to the veterinary nurse there. She was weighed, we discussed her problems, and we worked her diet out from there. I don't like the word diet. That kind of insinuates losing weight, and with raw fed dogs, obesity is just not an issue. It doesn't happen really unless you're overfeeding. You do have to weigh the meals, you have to work out how much. I mean, this is where you get your food from comes into its own, and I value Nurturing by Nature hugely for this, is because they will tell you how much to feed your dog. You don't have to sit there with a calculator. They will say, well, we suggest this, if she loses weight we can increase it, and they've got scales there and everything. And Zed, for her weight, which is round about 18 to 18.5 kilos, she has 500 grams a day. And I do now, since she's had her op, she has lost a little bit of weight. Oh, what you managed to get? Hang on a minute. She's managed to get her tail in a red collar. Leave it out. So, Zed, kitchen. That seems to work. Good girl. Now reward her. Good girl. Yes. Good. It's the only way it's going to work is marker training. That's all that's going to work. And she had a lot of timeouts as a pup in the kitchen when she was biting. And when I say timeouts, I don't mean like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. She was literally put on a timeout, leave it for 30 seconds to a minute, and then got out again. And you just have to persist with that, okay? That's just off the back of something else somebody asked me about, okay? Because they were saying that they were putting their pup out in timeouts for too long, and yes, you probably are. But I'm just me, and this is the way I do things, and I'm not dictatorial about anything. I've only been doing this for like 42 years, so what do I know? You know what I mean? It's just the way I do things, and with the variety of trainers that I had within one club, and we used to have different trainers and you know, because I went sort of 2 or 3 times a week, and you know, Jerry was my favourite trainer, always was, and watching, you know, the focus of the collie, and he had a German Shepherd as well, and they are my 2 favourite breeds, and they always will be. It's a good girl. We're going to do some work in a minute. So I'm giving Zed a couple of days off doing videos, just whilst we get a few things sorted. You know, it's got nothing to do with any criticism or anything like that, you know. Yeah, I am a sensitive soul, to be fair, I am. And, you know, I just want to make something very clear here. Sometimes in comments when I'm trying to be supportive, it seems that I can come across a little bit patronising. That is never, ever my intention, okay, people? Why would I patronise anybody? I love you all. It's not something I would do, okay? So please don't misunderstand. It's like misunderstanding texts. Thank you, Zedley, very much. I didn't want the computer moved, but I love you. You know, I would never do that. I would never intentionally patronise anybody. I'm, you know, just trying to be as supportive as I can, and, you know, please be understanding of that. I seem to be saying that a lot lately. Please be understanding of that. I had my hair cut yesterday. It's absolutely, she's done it really well. I've had it cut a lot shorter on the top because my hair is very, very thick. So yeah, that's it from me today. Keep it short and sweet, and have a good weekend. I'm taking the weekend off, as said. I just got to sort a few things out with her, and I don't think doing training videos, I need to really give Zed the credit that she deserves for what a wonderful working dog she is. I need to sort things out. Now, I was sent a smartphone from a subscriber. I charged it on my computer and it totally crashed my computer, so I'm going to have to buy a camera or something. I don't know. I'm not very technical minded. I'm sure you've all worked that out. You know, I'm just a very, very aged dog trainer. So yeah, that's it from me today. So have a great weekend, people, and thank you so much for your support and suggestions. And Mads, thanks for the link. That was drummed into me years ago, but we called it behaviour modification training back then. And you know, I don't like getting into science stuff. I don't think training is that complicated, really. You know, it's kind of common sense to me. Or maybe no. Let me correct that sentence. It's something I've grown up doing, so to me, it's pretty second nature. You know, every dog is unique. I've said this before, and we have to adjust our training methods to suit each individual dog. And that's all I'm going to say on dog training today. Okay, people, have a great day. Bye.